Do you ever catch yourself thinking about that thing you have to do and you end up never doing it, or you just end up putting it off till tomorrow? In this video, I'll be discussing the 2 steps needed to really stop overthinking and start taking action. This only works if both steps are applied. Step number 1 is to learn how to be in the moment. It was about 6-7 years ago when I discovered meditation and I started to implement it. I would do 10 minutes, 5, even sometimes 15. At the beginning, to me, it felt like this thing that was good at calming myself down. And over time, it became this habit that definitely allowed me to experience life better. But it wasn't until recently when I've started implementing meditation on a more serious level that it's really changed my entire life. Meditation is the single biggest trick to stop thinking so much. And the reason being is when you meditate, there is no real objective. Throughout your day-to-day life, you have an objective for every little thing you do. When you work, you want to get money. When you're at the gym, you want to get in shape. A lot of what you do is for some sort of outcome. The beauty in meditation is that the act itself is the end destination. I want you to simply sit down, close your eyes, and breathe. Set a timer for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Do this 2 times a day, and every week slowly ramp up the minutes. What you will find is you will see patterns in your brain. You'll see common thoughts and common things come up inside. You'll also notice how the more time you meditate, the better you get at not being so attached to what the mind is thinking. Anyone who's trapped in a negative emotion is usually just attached to their ego. Something happened to you, might happen to you, or there's this event out in the external world and you're taking it so personal because you are identifying with it, not realizing you are simply the observer of every thought in your brain. This might not make sense, but over time it will. Now you might say meditation is boring, but the effects are not boring at all. I'm telling you, the more you meditate, the happier you feel, the more able you are to be here in the present moment. My ability to snap into the present moment is at an all-time high. Whether I'm at the gym, whether I'm talking to a human being, whether I am making a video, I don't have many thoughts just racing in my head. And not only does that provide a better experience of life, but it allows me to perform at my 100% best capacity. You want to master your mind, you can't let your mind master you. Now that you have gotten more awareness through meditation, the next step, self-reflection. The reason this comes after meditation is because without true awareness, you can't self-reflect properly. And that is why I actually stack these 2 habits together. I meditate in the morning before I self-reflect. It wasn't until about 4 years ago that I got really consistent with self-reflection. At first, it kind of felt like it wasn't doing anything. I would just write down what happened the day before, and maybe I'd write down one thing I want to do that day. But over time, it did start to make a change. Because what would happen is when your brain has a break throughout the day, it kind of goes back to what you wrote. It starts to become the anchor of your day. The reason self-reflection is so important is that it provides clarity as to what were the mistakes of the day prior and what will you do today correctly, as well as what are the things you are proud of, which that just solidifies more confidence. So you buy a notebook and you simply write down the date at the top and you write down what do you regret from the day prior and how will you do things differently today. That is the most essential element, but on top of that, I recommend you write down things you are proud of, you are excited for, you are very grateful for. The more positivity, the better. And do not make it this thing where you say you're excited for this thing that's like 2 months later or 6 months later. No, what are you excited for today? And what are you grateful for today? And what are you proud of about the day prior? This will give your life so much clarity and will provide a direction for you to go. A pro tip is to read something positive right after the reflection. But don't indulge in like 30, 40, 50 minutes of reading. In my opinion, you want to keep this very short. It could literally be 1 quote, or it could be 1 page of some self-improvement book or a spirituality book. And after you read that, I want you to write down how this is relevant in your life or just what you learned in your own words. The more you can tie the lesson into your life, the more it becomes real. If you apply these 2 techniques, your life will change for the better. But if you're still struggling and you want some professional help, link in my description to work with me personally. I can help with your self-development, your dating, and your overall life. And that's all for this video. We'll talk soon. Peace.